Hi, in the previous video we were able to install Jenkins successfully and we created the user account and we were able to log in with that user's credentials. And in this video we will be focusing on creating a new job on Jenkins. So I will be talking about PMD. PMD is source code analyzing tool, and when a PMD task is executed, it searches for the whole code base to find unused variables, dead code, unreached blocks, and so many other validation criteria. These things are defined in PMD inside itself. So for this, I will be using a very simple Maven project, and that project is hosted at GitHub. As you can see the URL. This is a very simple project. As you can see the project structure, it only consists of a single class. It is also auto-generated by Maven and a test class for that and the POM file. Inside POM file you can see the Maven PMD plugin and the goal. The goal is labeled as check. So when we execute this goal, it will run the PMD rules and validate our code base against PMD rules. Now I will configure Maven within Jenkins. For that, let's go to manage Jenkins, then configure system, add. I will simply give Maven 3, and I don't want to install this as I have installed it locally, so I will give the path to local installation. Then save. Now let's try to create a new job. I will be giving the job name as PMD and select the freestyle software project. This is the job configuration page. We can see there are several source code management systems available here, CVS and Subversion, but Git is not available here. We want to add Git capabilities to Jenkins, otherwise we will not be able to create the job for PMD as our project is using Git. So to add the Git plugin, we need to go back to manage Jenkins, then manage plugins, available. We can type Git here. So we have the Git plugin here. We can give download now and install after restart. So we can see there are a set of goals. These will be executed, and it's somewhat slow as the internet connection is a little bit slow. So I will pause the video and resume after everything is completed. After restarting, if we go to the home page of Jenkins, we can see the configured job which we were trying to configure previous time. So if you go there and configure. Now we can see the Git plugin has added the Git capability to this page. So we can give the repository URL, copy the URL from here or copy to clipboard. Paste the URL. Now I have to give the credentials. I have to give these credentials because every time Jenkins need to get the updated source code and run this PMD against the new code base. So every time it need these credentials to connect to the GitHub. So I will add my credentials. My username is the same as Jenkins username, and I will give my password. Other details are okay. So next I have to add the build step. I will take the invoke top level Maven targets as this is a Maven project. So here I need to select the name I have given when configuring Maven, that is Maven 3. Then my goal is PMD check. When we run from the command line, we usually give it like mvn space pmd check. So here we don't want to mention the mvn part. I will talk about these build triggers later. For now I will save this, and I can check the job by pressing this link, build now. I can go to the build and see the console output as well. So it will give a console output. It is same as if we run this within the command line locally. Now let's do something to break our build. We will add string variable here. So this variable is not used anywhere, so it is a dead variable. PMD detects these unused variables and complains about them. We need to commit the code, git commit file. We can directly do the committing and pushing part both together. And now it's done. Now let's schedule another build. Let's look at the console output. Now we can see the build has failed. So it says that we have one PMD violation, and we can see what is the violation if we go to the mentioned location. This XML will tell what's the violation. But before that, we will do something else. We will configure Jenkins to send an email if the build gets failed. How to do that? Let's go to our job, then go to configure. There is a section called post build actions. So we can add the post build action as email notification. As the recipients, I will use this email address. This is my localhost, and this checkbox is checked. It will send emails for every unstable build. That user is not still configured in my local SMTP server, so I will go and configure the user. I have installed Citadel as my local SMTP server. This is admin, and I need to create a separate user account. So I will new user. If I check mail, there is no mail currently available. Now let's go and press the build now link. Let's see the console output. Here we can see additional line is added, sending emails to the mentioned email address. Now if we go to the email client and refresh this, we have build failed in Jenkins PMD number 3, and if we check here, it's the same build number 3, and if we check the mail body, it gives us a link. So we can go to this link. It will tell what's the violation, PMD violation we have done. Avoid unused private fields such as name. Name is the private field I have given, as you can see here. So it's doing a great job. This is plain XML, and there are some XSLs which can convert these XML to nice HTMLs. So you can see this in a very beautiful way, as this is very unreadable. So I'm not going into that much of details. Let's get back to the code and let's revert this. Save, then commit again. Now the build should work properly. Now let's run the build again. Let's have a look at the console output. So it says now the build is success now, and again it has sent an email to the email recipient. If we refresh this, we can see that the build number 4 build is back to normal.